Okay, going over essence dashing, right? The Sorpu core, brought to you by. No, I'm just kidding. This guy's gonna be helping us out a little bit. Can you see him? All right, so right off the bat, this is a basic use case. The page on the site, on the archive, is not talking about how you should utilize essence dashing. It's talking about the most basic form of essence dashing. Massively different things. That most of the fundamentals are used to understand in the most raw, basic form what's being talked about. It's not to say that that's how you should do it. The use case of essence dashing through forced essence sparking in parallel with the action at hand is not going to be effective at all. You're going to see like no difference in performance because there's no real because it's such a instant, like here's a real time lineup of essence dashing, right? From the time I snap this finger is the time that I start generating the essence, and this finger is going to be the action itself. So there's, in between these two fingers, is generation to action. And then once I snap this finger, it's over, right? There's not much time that you're generating essence to reach that peak and then spark. It's that quick. So you should not be sitting on it. You shouldn't be doing this. There's the essence generation. That's not how it works. It's instantaneous. I know this is essence dashing, but if I were to use the thought process behind essence dashing with my arm, right, in the sense of a lash build, right, so instantly. So from the time I generate, reach that peak, spark in my arm, and the spark looks like, I can't really even do a spark with holding this. Yeah, that's not. You wouldn't do that. It wouldn't. That's not how you'd apply it, right? You don't want to try to apply things like that. You're supposed to replace solid sparking with actual formulation. So with that being said, let's move on, right? So Sorpu, the lower core. If you're going to send energy down there, it's not going to be just a 2-2 or a 2-1. It's going to be right to your peak. So for me, that's a 3-3. And now it's there. I'm holding a 3-3 down in the lower core. Anything you send down there is going to be half potency. So I have to increase the flow to account for that loss of potency and hopefully get the same effect over my body from that. And a lot of the times you're going to have a lot of stability issues, but also not, just because Sorpu is good at grounding. So you're increasing the flow to a higher peak or a higher threshold, but you're not going to have the same effect over the body. I've been holding a 3-3 for the last, I want to say, 15 seconds down there. There's not much sparking, right? There's a little bit. So now, I was supposed to cover, and I'm still holding it, I was supposed to cover Sorpu deep builds, so we'll go right into that. My stance is neutral. I'm still holding the 3-3 down there. As you can see, it's very stable. There's no change in my demeanor. So I'm gonna turn it into a deep build right now, and you're gonna see my stance alter naturally. I'm not doing it on purpose. And that's a Sorpu deep build, very, very volatile, all right? And now it's off. So Sorpu 3-3 versus Sorpu deep builds are vastly different. And I'm not saying that you're going to want to walk around like that, because here's what it looks like. It looks like something out of a zombie flick, you know? You're not stable at all. And that's not what you do. You need to reduce it. Sorpu is meant for grounding. It's meant for stability control. It's meant for, kind of centered, dynamic essence generation. And that's what you want to do. You want to ground things out. You want to throw that deep build into the equation, but you want to allow it to ground out, and you want to stabilize it. And this is what a deep build Sorpu dynamic movement looks like, or in other words, a 4-1, without letting all the sparking go crazy, you know? And as you can tell, that look on my face kind of denotes the little bit of strain, you know. I'm kind of like, you know, it's not, you're still going to have a change in demeanor. And there's still going to be some sparking going on. There's still going to be a lot going on, but there's ways to limit that. If you don't care about limiting things, then by all means, just do a deep build and walk around all day like that. you're going to have a lot of instabilities, you're going to have a lot of intolerance, you're going to have a lot of residual, a lot of exposure. Your mind is going to be way different. You're going to be full of energy, but you're going to be so unstable, you're not going to be able to utilize any of it. You're going to be buckling left, right, up, and down. It's not going to be fun. Again, essence dashing is supposed to be done instantaneously, right? So, again, from the time you start generating, that second step is the action. So, here's Bob, right? If I were to dash in a static sense, I would dash away from Bob, right? Build up the energy in Sorpu, and dash. And as you can see, it's pretty useless. There's that weed whacker, I was waiting for that. You don't want to build up the energy and then dash from a neutral point. You want to build up the energy, allow the inertia to fill up, and then send it somewhere. Here's the difference. You know, so there's a little bit of like me falling, and then I activate the inaction essence sparking, solid sparking. But again, you wouldn't do it with just solid sparking. You would do it with some sort of formulation or some sort of bracing or situational, anything really. Solid sparking is just the most basic format for dashing, or for essence dashing is really just an inaction essence sparking thing. Just replace sparking with anything. Okay, yeah, with that being said, you're not supposed to do dashing from a static. You're supposed to do dashing from like a movement, like you're supposed to be dynamic about it. You're not going to be just standing there. That is one way to use it, but it's not effective. You ever watch football and you see these guys, they're they're doing this thing, and then they're going through I think it's some sort of course, right? There's a name for it. I don't watch football, so I don't know the name for it, but they have to do all that, and that's how you would really be doing it. And it would be one after the other, after the other, after the other, after the other, like a constant, if you will, constant activation. But so yeah, that concludes essence dashing, Sorpu, as well as Sorpu deep builds. So hopefully I can use this one video for those three things.